This week's episode is sponsored by Dollhouse of Tampa Salon and Studio. Find your inner doll. They offer quick weave, sew-ins, and much, much more to fit every occasion. Need a wig? Selena's got you. She will customize a unit just for you. Book your next appointment on Booksy today. Did someone say nails? Honey, forget the Bayhive. Contact Queen Bee herself. She offers customized designer nails and even designer press-ons that she will customize and ship to you. Braids, and even twists. Book with Tiffany right on Facebook. Find your inner doll at Dollhouse Tampa Salon and Studio. Tampa. This week's episode is sponsored by Hustle and Bling. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that bling. Lovely paparazzi designer pieces for only $5. That's right, $5. And don't worry about it if the kid gets in the jewelry box. They're only $5. Make sure you catch Allison Mondays and Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays live on Instagram and Facebook, promoting some of these wonderful fashion fixes that you'll enjoy. And if you miss it, check out the website. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that bling. Hustle and Bling. Stay in Love TV is your production to distribution solution to getting your message seen and heard. Having your own TV show with Stay in Love TV has never been easier than now. Stay in Love TV gives you the power to share your message with the world. Stop watching TV and start being watched on TV. Stay in Love TV offers real-time multicasting, all with one click. This opportunity puts you on the world stage with an audience of over 200 million. In addition to your low monthly subscription fees, you will also receive monthly network coaching and training from the network itself to ensure that before your first show premieres, you are set up for success. We at Stay in Love TV bring over 20 years experience in sales, marketing, advertising, and business development. Stay in Love TV, purposeful entertainment driven by love, empowered with passion, fueled with faith. Go to www.stayinlovetv.com and let's get started.
This is our kingdom come. Let the spirit of the Holy One pass over. Let your peace cover the earth. Lord, let your will be done. This is the time to take a stand, to let the world know that you can. Tomorrow, but today is the day that you say, I will reign. I will reign.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator.
And I'm Michelle, your motivator, your spiritual evolutionist. Namaste. About to the divine present purpose and plan in you on this satisfying Sunday.
Satisfying Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We ain't going to be singing I Can't Get No Satisfaction around here. We got it over here.
Yeah,
so welcome. Welcome everyone to Spiritually Speaking and Awakening. Woo, how was your week, co-host?
The weeks are getting better and better spiritually. I think we're just ascending higher and higher. If we are paying attention, if you're not paying attention, then you're not going to see the shift. But if you are conscious and tuned in and seeking, knocking, you're going to get just what you asked for.
Absolutely. I agree totally. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's all just an experience. This experience this life that we have, it's just an experience. And once you understand that this is a game, you just got to know how to play it and choose a side. then you're able to walk on top of the waters of your situation and begin to master this play called life, and by realizing that you are the star of your own show. You're the script writer, you're the producer, you're the director. You play a major part in the facilitation of your life, and uh, and you partner with spirit, and yeah, it's quite interesting. But there's some things that have been rolling out. I mean, and it's this is what I'm starting to notice. It's like everything is just trying to distract you and to get
Yeah.
you to be engaged in things that, I mean, everything. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm like, man, I'm not participating in that. I'm not going to participate in that. I see it, but I'm not going to participate in it. I choose to just stay in this space of love that I prefer, because it's just too much going on. I'm not going to get wrapped up in that. I was at the dog park this morning, with hot dog, and we sit around and we drink our tea and stuff and laugh. And a couple of people were bringing up some things that I'm like, I don't watch the news. I have no idea, and I was like, man, I'm not even, I'm contemplating on whether or not I'm going to even vote anymore.
It's funny that you say that.
Because that when you do, and I know people like, well, if you don't have nothing to say, and I don't, I'm not going to have an opinion about any of it. Therefore, I choose to decide on, whether or not I'm going to vote. I don't want to be a part of this saying anymore.
I think when you make a decision not to be pressured by outside happenings, and you're led because your steps have been ordered, and you're led by the light to the places that you need to be, you don't really have to explain to anyone why you're doing something. You don't really have to tell anybody. It's everybody's choice. I think if we get to the point of that, even when you vote, the people that you vote in, not very many of them will stand on what they say they were going to do. They just say that to lure you in. Then once you're in and they're in, then they're able to do what they are willing to do, as far as most of the time what benefits them.
Right.
I really haven't found anybody that's for the people but God.
It won't be, because of the system that you have to participate in.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's just a way to make you think that you have any type of decisioning power in this process.
You really only have decision power for you. And once we individually decide to follow the light, then it makes a energetic impression on the whole universe. And it becomes, because we're all connected, whether we choose to be or not, because we're all energy. And there's no disconnecting in energy. You can't destroy it and you can't create it.
Right.
So what you have to do is find your place and stay in your lane and move accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's peace in whatever you're going through or whatever you're facing. Because right now, while God is doing all the shifting, everybody is in place, whether you like them or not. They're in place for the glory. And I looked at that word glory. I think it should have said for the glow of God, because the light has come.
Yes, it is.
So,
yep, the light has come, and it's your choice to choose if you want to glow up or not.
right. So it's just everybody's choice, and that's the freedom in serving God. You got a choice,
Mm-hmm.
and once you make the choice, nobody can change that. You're the only one that can change the game or
Right.
change the direction. So all we have to do is just be light, and if somebody's in darkness and they come our way, just shine the light there so they can see where we're going. So
yep, be the lamp unto their feet.
yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. So we are rolling and rolling with this season. I mean, we have 3 more episodes, and is it 3 more? I have 7/31 as the season finale date. So we're wrapping it up. And if you haven't had a chance to catch any of these episodes, Download the Stay in Love TV app. It's the easiest and I think the most efficient way where you can be able to access all of the shows here on Stay in Love TV. We do run on Roku, Apple, and Amazon Fire TVs, but everyone using their phone now, and I'm okay with that because I watch it from my phone. I do because I could be anywhere and I can
Right.
just tune in.
Yeah, and even if you don't catch it live, you can catch it on the replay.
Yep. Catch it on the replay. You know, we have the season finale we scheduled that's slotted for 7:31, and then we also have the season finale coming up really soon for your new show. Today's Michelleology.
Mm-hmm. We are. I got it. I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I'm gonna
Do it, girl. You did the doggone thing. You did it.
the
You did.
the last broadcast, I really inspired myself. You know, when you go back and you re-listen to what you said, it is things that you must follow. It's not just for me telling the audience, but last week's episode, you have to go back and see it. It's inspiring for right now. You know, even though I pre-recorded those,
Mm-hmm.
they're coming up at the same hour that they need to come up for whatever is going on. So yeah, I'm excited for the glow.
Yep. And you know, and I'm noticing that about a lot of things because when we work to plan out the shows, we just agree on something and then we start documenting and listing everything, and it's like preemptive because we don't know, but we have like just a granular idea as to what we're
Mhm.
going to do, and then we outline it, and then it just fills out
Yeah.
as it progresses. And I think that tomorrow's episode is it the power of agreement? What do we have?
Yeah.
For
Hmm.
the power of agreement, and last week was the power of what was
Is
it?
it imagination?
I thought imagination was. That's what I'm trying to remember. Let me
I
see.
said it inspired me and don't even know.
Well, they all do, right?
What
So
inspired?
yeah,
Oh, what inspired me?
it's let's see what it was, but because the weeks are just going so fast that it's uh it's really hard to stay.
It was the power of imagination.
Yeah, the power of imagination. Okay,
Yeah.
yes. So, and that was right on point too, you know,
Yes.
especially
Yes.
with all this CERN stuff, and it's all just distract. I mean, if you really are able to choose to say, you know what, this ain't nothing but a show. I'm just enjoying it.
I think it's really awakening what's really in you.
Hmm.
People are not just jumping on the bandwagon immediately upon hearing some of the fake news.
Hmm.
It says you'll know the truth, and the truth will uh, make you free. So now things are resonating from the inside out first rather than outside in, which is causing people to ask questions or
Right.
study or not just be sucked in like a vacuum cleaner into whatever somebody else is saying. Because we
Hmm.
talked about most of your thoughts are somebody else's thoughts anyway, like 95% of them. So I think we're shifting that 95% of somebody else's thoughts to our very own.
And then that's a very good thing. And I feel very honored and that, you know, we are on this side of the team, the field
Hmm.
in this game called life, you know, and you know, we are a form of entertainment. Everything's a form of entertainment. And it's
Hmm.
up to you to decide on, you know, how you're going to what you're going to allow to entertain you. And
Right.
somebody provided a definition of that.
Hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's to actually uh, what you choose to focus on.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh, what is it? The form of activity that holds the attention and interest of an audience or gives pleasure and delight. It could be an idea or a task. So
Right.
entertainment is what you choose to what you're going to choose to hold your attention to. where you choose to be engaged. And everything, even the news is entertainment. So if you choose to hold your interest there, then what that is that form, that method is actually tapping into your energy as serving as fuel to feed into this world.
Right.
And it helps to create it. So whoever watches us and tunes into us, they're tapping into that, they're holding their interest into that, and they're it's serving as fuel for this medium, this show, all these shows, to help feed and to form a world.
Yeah, and we're also helping people remember who they are. They already know who they are. They just have to remember it because their memory has been tampered with. And so we think we're out searching for who we are on the outside, but who we are is on the inside. You never lose that regardless of what street you go down. And that's something that's permanent in you. So I don't think people know that because they get distracted and they go down the road and they think there's no turnaround. But there's always a turnaround if you have another opportunity in a day that you wake up. It's never too late until you don't wake up. So yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. So like I said, we're leaving artifacts here, co-host. We are setting it up for the rest of them, because I honestly believe in my heart of hearts that God is coming for his people, whether it's this lifetime or the next one or the next one, but he's coming. And whether you choose to wake up in this lifetime, this is serving as a seed for the next lifetime of person. I believe that, because your soul doesn't die, right?
Right.
So and that's what makes reincarnation and all that stuff so interesting, because your soul just collects data and information all throughout this journey. And each life you come back into, it's just my opinion, y'all. Each life you come back into, you have residual effects from everything that your soul has collected since it was created in this Big Bang thing. So, yeah.
And it's just things that weren't completed is just coming back completed. That's why we talk about deja vu, and you think about, well, I've been here before. Yes, your soul has been here before, and reminding you of the way that you should take that the previous person did not make a decision to take. But now is your opportunity to rewrite the story so that the completion of this cycle of your soul is complete. And then there's some things that the next cycle has to complete. So if we look at ourselves as we're in the completion of this soul travel or this soul's journey, that's an excitement that you've been chosen to complete a task that wasn't completed before, which means you're equipped. If you're tired, it's because your body is tired. Your spirit never gets tired. And so you have to regenerate back into your spirit when you just start saying, I don't think I can do this. This is too much. This is too hard. When you begin to complain and murmur and you talk about that, that's your body, because your body only takes so much. But your spirit is able to regenerate your body back into a motivational mode. So, I mean, you as a person, not the one we're looking at or you're looking at us, but the one that we can't see is phenomenal. And they don't want us to know that, because if you know that, then you're not going to accept the distractions. You're going to move beyond them.
Right. And just agree. I mean, I don't want to get too much into this, but yeah, we will at the come, because we got 2 bonus episodes for the season, and we're gonna really just go all out. But the thing is that if we finally can wrap our head around that concept, this idea that, hey, I've been here before and I'm on a mission, and whatever role I accepted to play in this lifetime, then I have been equipped with everything I need to carry out, but also to realize that I need to reconcile some karmic debt. People say there is no karmic debt. I believe there is, because there are certain things that I believe that you created, whether in this life or the previous life, that must be reconciled. You have to settle it. You have to zero it out. And the goal and objective, in my opinion, is to not create any more karma, because I believe that karma is what creates your sentence to be bound here in hell.
Oh my God.
Hell is prison. This is hell, y'all. I'm serious. But we on a mission because we come from God. We come from light. So our goal is to multi-purpose. You need to clean up your debt, settle that, reconcile that, but also fulfill a mission if you choose to accept it. That's the thing. And the distraction was, oh, you need to get saved. You're lost. And all this misinformation to brainwash you and think you that you're not worthy. Everything that's opposite of what you really are was fed into us from the beginning, day one that we arrived here, to keep us off course, to keep us, keep us thinking, oh, this is a beautiful place. This is you need to create and leave all this here. Yeah, you need to all of that, right? And by doing so, you're distracted by entertainment, amusement parks, movies, television, jobs, all this stuff, without actually fulfilling your purpose. So if you do all that and go to work and do all this, which is I do it too, but if you're not fulfilling your purpose also, then you're missing the mark, and you have to come back.
Which is the greatest sin of all.
The greatest sin.
It has nothing to do with all the other outside stuff. I think what we don't really recognize is our most traumatic experience was our birth. How we were pushed through our mother's womb. We came out of a safety place. The first thing we saw was a whole lot of lights and noise, and some of us got slapped on the back end. The first hit, it's a lot. The tears begin to flow. So that's our most traumatic experience that we've had, and we recovered from that because we're growing. And so you cannot focus on the traumatic experiences, because those most of the times are your building blocks and your stepping stones. So we want to eliminate the bad, but if we didn't have the bad, there would be no balance, because we would not even know what good was. So embrace the places that you are, whether they feel good, look good, smell good, or taste good, but just get the lesson so that you're in this too shall pass. It is not here to stay. So don't focus on staying in that place. Focus on growing and getting the lesson so that you can move on to something greater.
Move on to something great. That's right. All right. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because this season we are diving into the 7 churches of Revelation. One of my favorites. I just love it. So tonight we're going to be talking about diving into Philadelphia. And when we come back, we are going to speak to diving in Philadelphia. Wait for me. So go grab yourself a refreshing beverage. And when we return, we are going to be talking about Philadelphia and the 7 churches of Revelation. Revelation chapter 3. So stay tuned.
Welcome. You have just entered today's Michelle Hour. We provide you with insight that's needed to take a deeper look into your consciousness and provide tools that will open up the door to your higher self. Get ready for a now awakening. Remember, once you go in, you'll never be without.
All right, we're back, and we are preparing ourselves for this place and this space, this mental church.
Mental church, the 7 churches of Revelation, diving into Philadelphia. Yep. So here we go. Wait for me. Okay. So scripture inspiration, Revelation 3, verses 8 through 12. I'll put these here. And Revelation 3 says, I know you well. You aren't strong, but you have tried to obey and have not denied my name. Therefore, I've opened a door to you that no one can shut. Note this, I will force those supporting the causes of Satan while claiming to be mine, but they aren't. They are lying. To fall at your feet and acknowledge that you are the ones, because you have patiently obeyed me despite the persecution. Therefore, I will protect you from the time of great tribulation and temptation. Underline that, please, ladies and gentlemen. I will protect you from the time of great tribulation and temptation. which will come upon the world to test everyone alive. Everyone. Look, I am coming soon. Hold tightly to the little strength you have, so that no one will take away your crown. As for the one who conquers, I will make him a pillar in the temple of my God. He will be secure and will go out no more. And I will write my God's name on him, and he will be a citizen in the city of God, the new Jerusalem, coming down from heaven from my God. And he will have my new name inscribed upon him. Wait for me.
Yeah, these are one of the this is one of the few of the churches that he had no big problem with, or he didn't indicate something that he had against this church. And I kind of think this is when you get to your place that you are conscious and you're beginning to not walk with God, but allow God to walk in you. Um, and so it kind of takes you out of the two form and makes you into one, where the real marriage comes is your consciousness to walk. Um, I used to love the poem Footsteps in the Sand. But when I got the revelation that that is the pediatrics of it, when you see that. But when it became one set of footprints is when you walked in God. And so God is an in God.
Become one. That's how I see it.
Right.
He carried me, but after a while, we became one.
Right.
That's how I see it.
Right. And once you become one, there's only one set of footprints, because you're walking in God and you're no longer outside of him. And so that's a union that has become, looks like in this Philadelphia church, this mindset, this place of growth, this place of enlightenment. You can't have enlightenment without the light, and you can't go any further. So this church right here is a mindset of consciousness to me. That's how I see it.
It is.
Yeah.
Look this. Okay. This is what I found on BibleAsk.org, and it describes the characteristics of the Church of Philadelphia. It says, the church at ancient Philadelphia was not large, and it didn't have great influence. However, it was pure, holy, and faithful to God's word. The members of the Church of Philadelphia devoted themselves to the study of scriptures. Didn't say Bible. Study scriptures, especially the prophecies of Daniel and of Revelation. In addition, the members experienced personal victory over sin. Thus, the church was faithful and pure before God.
So it's walking into your Christ consciousness, where you start thinking like God, walking like God, talking like God, being God, and not find it robbery to be God. People don't want to say that, and it's not belittling, because God doesn't want us dependent on him. He wants us to independent in him. And so when you get to the part that you see yourself walking as God and not afraid to say it, you have just walked into the Church of Philadelphia, regardless of what's going on the outside of you. I saw one key thing that is very key to what's happening now. He says he opens doors that nobody can shut.
Nobody.
So we don't have a need to be fearful of where we're walking when God has opened that door. And it's not just one door, it is multiple doors. It's like door after door after door, because you're going higher and higher, faith to faith and glow to glow.
Glow to glow.
And once you begin to do that, you become that mindset of being the church instead of going to the church.
Right. And that's what I really loved about how they described it, because personal victory over sin. I want to talk about that, co-host, because I have a testimony.
Okay.
Testimony to share. Okay. So, yeah, it'll take me 3 minutes. Okay. So, for many years, I was bound. I wasn't bound. I was going through an experience where I had this strong attraction to this married man, right? So, it was strong, very strong. And I was tempted. I did not give in to the temptation, literally. But that went on for years, because I was like, what is going on here? And I tried to talk this. Now, let me tell you, this is when I was in the church, right? So I tried to discuss it with someone in a woman's group where I felt safe, right? Because they tell you, oh, this is a safe place. But when you start really bringing your mess, and you feel safe to share it,
Yeah.
I was immediately judged. I mean, I saw the horns go up in her head, and she was talking about, anyway, it was just the way she communicated back to me made me feel like it was something that I was doing wrong, right? Immediate judgment. Immediate judgment. Now, I didn't say, oh, I've been having an affair with a married man. I said I have a strong attraction to a married man. Can someone please help me understand what is going on? Because I am in love with God. And I'm here and I've been serving faithfully for years. So help me understand how I can be served. I really just put it all out there, right? Honey, I said, okay, I know I can't talk to these folks because they don't know what they're talking about. And that's when I just stopped. But the thing, and that went on for years, right? Years. And I was, going over it and going over it. And I could, and kept leave and I come back and leave, because he has his own church. So I was like, man. But let me tell you something. If you wait on the Lord, if you wait, your answer will come. Yeah. Yesterday, right, riding around with my mother and my cousin and everything, and we were just talking about, just talking, you in the South, that's what you do, you talk. And so they started sharing something because the previous generation, they hold secrets and they take it to the grave. Right. But we no, we need to air our issue so that we can resolve it. That's our generation. Their generation just keeps sweeping it on the rug and and keep those sins, inheriting all those sins and don't know why you got them. So, and they got to talking about it. I said, you mean to tell me that so and so slept with so and so slept with so and so, and they were married, right? The same family line. So I was like, you mean to tell me that same scenario came to me too? And I was like, oh man, I dodged a bullet big time. And I resolved in myself, and I realized, I said, you know what? I just broke a curse. Because that was in my family. Yeah. That was in my family. So I broke a curse because I was tempted, but I didn't yield to the temptation because I was seeking God. Now, here's the thing. This is how you can get delusion and get caught up. If you start to believe the delusion without getting an answer to it, right, you can fall trapped to that temptation, whatever that is you experience. Right. But I didn't know that. I didn't know, and that's why I just want to get that out there because I want whoever's watching this, if you don't feel safe to share what you are experiencing, and you choose to follow God, you are in love with God, and you just want to be a servant to him, and you serve it to God and operate in Christ's consciousness and operate from this space of brotherly love, which is the Church of Philadelphia, then you have a safe space here. Because had someone who had the wisdom, because that's my favorite scripture, wisdom is a principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and in all your wisdom, get understanding. Because to me, that should be the main scripture that drives anyone's life. You need to get an understanding so that you can have an understanding to understand, to get it. So had I received that, would I have gone through that persecution that I experienced with that? I mean, because I experienced some persecution from that, honey. Because, everybody was talking about that. I mean, my stepmom came to me. She said, you know what? I went by one more minute. She says, I've heard, what's going on over at that church and this and that. And there's rumors talking about you. I said, first of all, I wasn't raised that way. And I was slightly insulted, but my heart was broken because somewhat I was kind of, I wouldn't say guilty, but it was some form of truth because I did have feelings, right? But I didn't carry out those feelings, and I was not doing what they were insinuating that I was doing, right? Right. And I was like, wow, judgment. And it's because of your walk. You will endure temptation, but you don't have to fall through it.
Yeah, that's part of your building. God shared with me. I said to him a long time ago, why do I always have to struggle? Why does it always have to be something? It always has to be this or that. God said that's not struggle, that's preparation. And so today when I was driving and I was thinking about that, all the things that I'm facing right now, and it's not just one thing, it's a whole ball of things. But God said to me, I have prepared you because I've given you the tools for whatever you face, is what you're building your testimony on so that others can experience me. Because if people don't see you going through something, if you don't get persecuted, and then on this side they see you coming out, even though the fire was all around you, it's how you build the glory of God, how the light is even brighter. So the more things you go through, the more things you're equipped for, because God is never going to send you on a journey that he has not equipped you. So if we stop looking at what's going on and start looking in to what's in us, it's just like going through one of them courses. What do they say? Like the people in the service go through the courses. What do they call them?
Training.
Yeah, training courses where they're jumping over walls and pulling up on ropes. But it is making you that soldier that's able to stand on the front line when the enemy does come. So if we don't get equipped with all this stuff, we won't know how to stand against anything.
Right.
I'm excited for it. I know when Paul said these are just light afflictions.
Right. Light afflictions. And taking it from the approach that this is just a simulation. This is a part of my training. You know, that was a part of my training.
It's called an obstacle course.
Yes. So you must go through the obstacle course.
Yes, it came to me. Yes.
To strengthen.
This is my course. You can't pull me out of it. I don't care how much people want to pull me out of my course. I must be about my Father's business and run this course. He's not going to give me a course I am not prepared to take.
Agree.
So,
and it's not for anyone else to see how it's going to pan out. As long as you have peace in your heart and know that it needs to pan out, go forth and conquer. Because here's the thing. When I was going through all this stuff and still trying to, I was driven by a desire and to keep Stay in Love going, and just in spite of everything that I was experiencing at that time, it was driving me. And whatever, I was like that widow woman. What do you have? I was just using whatever I had, to keep going. All the experience, I don't want to list them all the experience I was going through, I managed to whatever I had, that's what I used. And I was operating from the space of, I was focused on future. So I need to do this. I do that. I learned some training on that. I'd write up stuff. I learned some whatever it was. I knew that it was building blocks for my future. I was setting the foundation for what's going to be built down the road. I didn't know I was going to have Stay in Love TV and all this kind of stuff and have these great experiences, but my soul knew.
Right. Because it's been here before. So you have to, I hear people say all the time, trust the process, trust the process. If you don't know what to trust about the process, those words are just vain words for people. Trusting the process is knowing that you're equipped. Trusting the process is know that there's nothing that you're in right now that your God cannot take you out of. When he was on the cross, he said, I could call a legion of angels to pull me out of this. But because this is the course that I must take, I'm going to stand still and see the salvation of God.
Right.
So it's like, I'm going to see the salvation that's in me, not outside of me. And as we move forward in that, like this church did, you find a confidence in God. You find that trust. We say we trust God, but we don't trust him when things are not paid, when the bills are not paid, when sickness comes, when something happens with your kids, when your car breaks down. It's a whole bunch of stuff that you can just list, but it's a whole bunch of rams on the other side that there's a solution. So when we begin to focus on who we are, whose we are, how we were equipped, and this is just an experience to build the glow of God, then your whole frequency changes.
It
The
sure.
situation won't sometimes, but your whole frequency about how you look at it, how
And
you
that's the first stage, because when you change your frequency,
Mhm.
then it doesn't line up with your present situation.
Right.
So it's all about your energetic frequency and the vibration that you're sending out, because that vibration that you're sending out, that frequency, you are, it's like you're sending out a call, right? And you are
Mhm.
creating your next with that frequency. So when the time comes, you're going to be moved out of this situation and into your present situation
Mhm.
because of the frequency that you sent out. That's why it's so important that whenever you're going through something, that
Mhm.
you choose to get into this space and start changing your vibration, elevating higher, changing your frequency, because the energy is what's key. When you choose to do that, you cycle out of this situation scenario much quicker.
Yeah,
And
and it's just the fear that they are bringing forth to distract you. Fear is a distraction from your faith.
yep,
And so if you get all caught up in the happening, then you lose focus and you forget who you are. That's why I say we know who we are. We just have to remember, because we have all these layers of stuff that have been placed on us that's blocking our vision. And so this time that we're becoming conscious of who we are, the Christ mindedness, and we're leaving the old behind. I mean, the really leaving the old behind and walking into our new way of envisioning and imagining. It's a journey that's sometimes I mean, like, God, are you serious? This is what I haven't been seeing, and it could have been another way, but the way that I've come has brought me this way. So our direction that we're taking is still going to lead you to, we say we going through good, because if you're going through something, that means you're not staying there. You're moving to something greater. So
if
this church right here,
if you move into something greater, if you are choosing what frequency you want to tune in onto, because you either going to choose faith or fear, because faith is going to help you create a better situation because of the frequency that you're on, so you will flow to that next. Your fear, same there. You're gonna, if you choose fear, you're gonna create that frequency called fear by creating these scenarios that you will experience. Not might, you will. So how about leaning and choosing faith and create these faithful scenarios? Because fear is going to show up. That's just that's what it's supposed to do. That's its job. But it's you to say, you know what? What if this happens? Well, you know what? I'm only going to better because I know what I have been meditating on and what frequency I'm on. I know that. Well, you gonna whatever. Well, that's fine. Every experience I've had, I've always gone to something better and had more. So that's okay. When you allow that take that stance and become detached from all this stuff, that false evidence, this simulation stuff, then that's when you can really walk in your power and be as Christ. Because every situation you go into, if you know that every situation you've gone out of and getting into it's gone to a better one, then you on to something. Because you're just creating another experience and a better experience for you to have. So it's up to you, guys, ladies and gentlemen. It's up to you to choose what frequency are you going to be on. Are you going to be on the fear frequency? Are you going to be on the faith frequency? It's up to you. And your mind, I'm telling you, man, that's the it'll have you tripping. But if you choose not to trip, then you will be able to stay on that frequency and cycle so much quicker out of your present situation into something better.
but I think sometimes we need, or we have to explain, because we say frequency a lot, and a lot of people have no idea what we're talking about when we say frequency. And so what I've done to enhance what it means to me, it's a feeling. And I'm not saying a Feeling. I'm saying a Filling. where you're so filled with something that you overflow in an excitement, not necessarily in an emotion, but sometimes, like the other day, it was just something down in my solar plexus that was jumping and leaping, and I had no idea what it was leaping about. And so I tagged that feeling because that was a frequency. That was something that was shaking my thought pattern, how my body was feeling. It was a soaring spirit. So when we're talking about frequency, I know that we're talking about a high frequency is when you're soaring with your spirit and not with your flesh. The low frequency is when you're soaring with your flesh and you're believing everything that's outside of you is your reality. But the high frequency is when you know everything is inside of you and you're soaring, you're igniting, you're jumping, you're leaping, to just excited like a kid, just excited about getting some ice cream. That's a high frequency.
Yeah.
It's a simple situation, but you've got to pin how that feeling, that in feeling comes up when you're experiencing that, and just keep it focused
And
on
that
it.
anticipation is a key. When you start having that feeling of anticipation, that's a frequency. So what do you do with that frequency? Well, you get to create, because that's the best time you should be creating, is when you're operating at a high frequency. Why?
And that's that door opening.
Yes.
Opening, that portal is opening for you to now experience this. It's the connection, it's the coming together, it's the honeymoon.
It's the conception. It's when the big bang.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you immediately will send out an image. And when you send out an image, grab it. And then
That's your imagination.
And then you milk that image, and then you start building on that image to the next thing that it's the picture is full. And oh my goodness, it will happen so quickly when you do that. And people say, well, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know it's going to be good. Well, that's your fault. You need to know what your situation is going to be. What does that good look like to you? What does it look like? Because you don't want to leave it up to fate and then living by default. It'll be something good, but honey, you need to start creating and building and be the architect of your life. Start drafting it out and setting it up. I mean, when I was going through, I was meditating, but I also had these visual images and these guided meditations was taking me, and I shared them this week on my Facebook page about how, it's a guided meditation where you visually create something. And what I did was I found this $7 million penthouse condominium, and they had a video tour of it. And I watched that thing constantly to the point where it was a part of my memory. And when I dived into that guided meditation, he said, you're in an elevator. And I was like, okay. And I, choose this floor. And that floor I went up to, and when those doors opened, I was in that penthouse apartment. Now, I don't know that, but the feeling of me having that experience, that's what you need. You need to.
That's the frequency. That's the frequency.
That's the frequency
that you experience. And you just also need to get you a point of reference that takes you there. When your mind is going the opposite way, find you a point of reference. Your point of reference was the house. As you walking through it, you're making a tour of your house. But there's a song that I want you guys to pull up. It's by Chris McClamney, McClamney. It's called Speak to the Mountain. And this is my song of reference now, because every time that song comes on, there's a vibration and a frequency that comes up in me that knows, something is happening. Every time the song comes on, it's like I leave what I'm doing and I go to that place. So find yourself a place of reference. This is my fight song. This is my song that comes forth. So find yourself a place of reference so that you can go to it and you'll be able to come out of that low frequency.
And also you have to remember, because when you are speaking to a mountain, the impact that it takes to move that mountain, I just think that mountain is you.
Yeah, and once the revelation I got on that, I've heard that scripture so much. Speak to the mountain, and I was speaking to mountains, and they weren't moving. But I think we need to get to a point of explanation. When I got the revelation that God says, when you speak to the mountain, it moves you, and you get in front of the mountain, and so the mountain is invisible for you, so it has moved. But in the same, it moved because you moved. It's not just going to move if you don't move. So this particular song, it says, why should I worry when giants call my name? That just the first line, it's something phenomenal. So um it's an awesome song that can be your just find you a motivational song. That song is my motivational song.
Yeah.
So that I believe the church had that. When you're going through something, the Philadelphia mindset had that. Like, they had a fight song. They were not going to be moved by outside stuff, by what people call Satan, whatever. They weren't going to be moved by it. And you've got to make that decision. I shall not be moved.
Yeah, I will force those supporting the causes of Satan while claiming to be mine, but they aren't. So we are in the age of deception, but for years, hundreds of years, we've been under the age of deception. Now we're in the days of revelation, where you're starting really to see and understand and recognize the wheat from the tares, the people who are really on God's side, love side, and the people who are not, and the people who are perping. And it's up to you to decide, because here's the thing, people. If you can't recognize a wheat from a tare, then you're more prone to be deceived. But he said you didn't. I will force those. They're going to fall at your feet and acknowledge that you are the ones I love. Now, just a minute. And I say it that they put misinformation to try to cause confusion in this great book that was inspired by people who really love God and chose to be a part of God. The way I see that, they're gonna bow at your feet. They will fall at your feet and acknowledge that you are the ones I love. Don't really like that,
Well, it's put in a physical tone, because that's the only way they know how to relay it. But I think they're just saying they were
trying to convey.
Huh?
What do you think it was trying to convey in that?
I just think that they're saying they will see the light in you. Falling at your feet means falling to your ground beginning, being able to see what ground built you up from the place that they had no idea where you were. So falling at your feet is a place of starting point to start from the bottom to the top, which also references the chakras. Everybody wants to be at the crown, but you have to go to the ground to get to the crown. So it even talks about in here. He said they can't take your crown. So they got to start at the ground, which is the root chakra, and get rooted in the Christ minded that you are. That's the revelation I get from it. I know what they put doesn't actually sound.
Yeah. No one will take away your crown. That's your crown chakra. Hold tightly to the strength you have, because this is your key right here, your crown chakra. That portal opening that's opened to receive that download of flow of information and revelation. Okay.
And it's a little hard now. It used to be soft as a baby, but we got so hard-headed. So a lot of times you have to do an exercise to massage that area in the top of your head. Close your eyes. That's a form of meditation. And you're going to begin to open your portal, soften your portal back up for the entryway.
Whatever works. Do it.
Sometimes I'm in the car and, stuff gets a little hectic in your thinking. And I just began to massage that along with your heart.
Yeah.
And you'll get back connected, heart, head connected to the crown. So, yeah.
Yep. Final scripture we want to speak to tonight is, because you have patiently obeyed me despite the persecution, therefore I will protect you from the time of great tribulation and temptation, which will come upon the world to test everyone alive. This is why I believe we right at, Michelle.
Oh, we are. We are.
Everybody's being tested.
Yeah. You're not there. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much money you don't have. I don't care how position you have, position you don't have. It's everywhere. It's in your house, it's the White House, it's in the whole house, it's in the dog house, it's in all the houses. So don't feel like, oh well, they all right. I promise you they're under test. They're
And
under
it's up to you that if you don't allow yourself to be focused on what everybody else is being tested,
comparison and competition.
focus on your exam.
Yeah.
Work out your own
Stop
exam.
looking at somebody else's paper.
Yeah, because it's every test is different.
And that's cheating.
I love them teachers that will pull them surprise. Say, I hope you haven't been cheating on your neighbor there, because every one of these tests are different.
Yeah. And that fits where we are. You cannot look at somebody else's test and determine what's going to happen with you. You have to stay focused on yours. That's why the world created competition.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're always looking at somebody else's paper to see how they got to there. And that's not your journey. That's not the way. That's not your armor.
Yep. You can be inspired by someone,
yes,
and study with them, but when the test time comes, let them take their tests. You take your own test, because everybody's experience is unique and individual, and it's their own. But the great thing about it is, it says, you patiently obeyed me despite the persecution. Persecution.
Yeah, so you already know that somebody's going to have something to say. But I would say, what you say about me is not my business. So if I stay minding my own business, what people say has no validity until you create it to have that.
Right. Right.
And inspire means to breathe in spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm inspiring you, I'm just breathing in the spirit inside of you. So yes, be inspired by a story, but that's your entertainment for that moment. But once their story is over, you got to get back to your story.
Right. And focus.
Yeah.
Focus. It says, as for the one who conquers, I will make him a pillar in the temple of my God, and he will have my new name inscribed upon him.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the new name?
I really don't.
I don't either.
I don't really care.
Just call me. Just call me God. I don't care what you call me. Just call me.
Just make sure that, when I hear that horn or when that train, have a spaceship, however you coming, however we gonna just be transported like Scotty and
yeah, just call me. Listen, I know your voice. So if you don't say Michelle, if you say, hey, you, I know your voice, then that's fine with me. And maybe that is the new name. The new name is not having the name that everybody will know. So it's like so many ways that you can look at that.
Yep, my sheep know my voice.
Right. So I don't care if he say Michelle, Rocky Mode, spiritual evolutionist. He might call me something I don't even know about. If I know the voice, then I'm going to answer.
Yep, all I need is come on.
So becoming this church is not unreachable. Becoming conscious and Christ-minded is not unreachable.
Right.
Seeing the revelation on your life, seeing the light in your life is not unreachable. We have made it so difficult for people to reach that place that they're already there. They just don't know it and they're not aware of it. So if we can stop fighting people, judging people, putting people down, and just shine the light so they can see.
Just shine the light. And when it dawned on me, and that answer came yesterday, and my family didn't get it. They didn't understand. I was like, well, I said, I'm happy about this. I said, had I known about this, I probably would have been able to, navigate and cycle out of that quicker, but it wasn't.
You
It was
weren't
the right
supposed to.
time
Right.
for me, because my logic would probably try to rationalize myself out of it and say, "Oh, that's different," because I was not at that emotional level of awareness where I am now. So when I saw it, I was like, "Yep, that's it." So I said, I really believe that." And he said, "You patiently endured."
Yeah. Just wait for the word. Just
Wait.
quietly wait. Yeah, just quietly wait. And I promise you, he comes every time.
Time.
I don't care what I've been through. I don't care what I'm going to go through. God comes you know
Every
why he
time.
comes? Because he's in me. So when I come, he comes. So you got to recognize you are not in this alone. That's
Right.
why tomorrow you need to hear the power of agreement.
You need to see the power to be. But join Michelle Massey Washington right here on Stay in Love TV tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Download the Stay in Love TV app to your Roku or your iOS phone. Just go into your app store, type in STAY. There you'll see that big ass come up. And then when you launch it, you'll see my big face and everything, but you'll see it. And then you'll see Michelle's, and you'll have the live channels there, and you'll see Michelle's beautiful picture there. You just tap on that tomorrow, 7 a.m., and you'll be access the show, and you'll be able to stream it and enjoy it. And most of the time I'm in the bed when I'm watching it, because I'm like 7 a.m. I kind of sleep in sometimes, and when I do, I'm able to watch it. Sometimes I get up early and I have my tea and I can sit in front of the telly and watch Michelle's great show. Today's Michelleology. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is the first season. I'm just so looking forward. I mean, girl. Next season. This girl is on fire.
You're so crazy.
This girl is on fire. Yes.
Yeah, I'm running without an extinguisher. I'm telling you.
Awesome.
I am so excited about the journey now. I wasn't there have been times I haven't been excited about the journey, but now I'm excited about the journey. Come what may, I know that my dark places are put there to show my light. So I'm excited about the journey now.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for tuning in tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Social media world, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Share. We want to just thank you for however way you support us. However way you support us, we want to thank you. And we just want to send, as we go into another perceived week, may you arise each day at the best possible timeline. Yes. And may the Holy Spirit show you just how good it can get in your life.
Yes.
I'm Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator.
And I'm Michelle Washington. I'm your motivator and your spiritual evolutionist. Namaste. I speak blessings over your week. Everything that will come near you this week, a solution is right in front of it, not behind it, but in front of it. There is nothing that you will go through this week that your God has not already supplied you with the answer. Yes. I just pray for your awakening and your awareness that the answer is there. So, yes. Namaste. Woo! Let's get it.
Until next week, right here on Stay in Love TV. Did I already sign off? Woo, I'm Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach. I signed off already.
This is your second closing. Oh, God.
Oh, live TV. All right. Have a great night, everyone. And remember, stay in love. Bye now.
Bye.
Stay in Love TV is your production to distribution solution to getting your message seen and heard. Having your own TV show with Stay in Love TV has never been easier than now. Stay in Love TV gives you the power to share your message with the world. Stop watching TV and start being watched on TV. Stay in Love TV offers real-time multicasting, all with one click. This opportunity puts you on the world stage with an audience of over 200 million. In addition to your low monthly subscription fees, you will also receive monthly network coaching and training, and it puts you on the world stage with an audience of over 200 million. In addition to your low monthly subscription fees, you will also receive monthly network coaching and training from the network itself to ensure that before your first show premieres, you are set up for success. We at Stay in Love TV bring over 20 years experience in sales, marketing, advertising, and business development. Stay in Love TV, purposeful entertainment driven by love, empowered with passion, fueled with faith. Go to www.stayinlovetv.com and let's get started.